Hello there, seventh graders. This is Mr. Kashi speaking. With this video, we're going to go through the notes for 10.2, and this is on drawing geometric figures. This lesson is all on what they call quadrilaterals. And so we're going to go through here and we are going to classify all these different quadrilaterals and what they all represent and what they mean. So um, this is just a diagram that we're going to talk about these different quadrilaterals. We're going to start right here on the left. This one is probably not your traditional quadrilateral. Quadrilateral just means that we have four sides on our figure, so four straight sides. This one we have two congruent figures here and two congruent sides there. And what we call that um, is a kite. That is a kite right there. So go ahead and be writing these down, obviously, in your notes. The next one here, we have a parallel sides that are also congruent. So we'll put a little line here. And then these are congruent as well, and they're parallel. And what that represents, remember if there's two sets of parallel lines, that is called a parallelogram. And then moving off to the right, here we just have one set of parallel sides. None of these are actually congruent, just one set of parallel lines. That is called a trapezoid. All right, so those are our first three. And then hopefully you can kind of see why we're doing this the way that we're doing it. The next level down gets a little bit more what they call regular polygons. Okay, so here this would mean that all four sides are the same length, not necessarily the angles. And what that is called is a rhombus. So four sides the same length. And then in the middle here, I think a lot of you can kind of see what these next three are all like. This is four right angles. That is the definition of a rectangle. And then obviously you can see how if we have four right angles and we have four sides that are equivalent, that is going to make a square. So that is what that is. It's basically putting a rectangle and a rhombus together. Four right angles, four congruent sides. It's basically taking a rectangle and a rhombus, putting it together, we get a square. Then over here we have one set of parallel sides, just like this, but these angles are congruent here, and these angles are congruent there. So that makes it an isosceles trapezoid. Just a little bit more finer definition. Okay. To the next slide here, we're just going to be drawing some geometric shapes. So draw a square with side lengths of 2 inches. So you want to be taking your straight edge, right? And then you want to make sure that you're drawing a square, making sure that you're probably going to be a lot straighter than my edges. I don't get to use a ruler like you guys do, so make sure you label 2 inches. And then let's go ahead and make sure that we are reviewing why it's a square. We have 4 right angles, and all 4 sides are congruent. So you want something like that. Obviously, using your ruler, you can do that with um, an actual ruler to give actual 2-inch sides. Rhombus. Rhombus is a little different. It does not have to have all the angles the same. So something like this could actually do, where we have this. Just make sure that you're measuring this out, that these are 3 inches each, right? And that all 4 sides are the same, making it a rhombus. All right? So 2 quadrilaterals, a square and a rhombus. Let's move on to another one. Describe the following quadrilateral. Okay, so let's just kind of talk about what it has. One pair of parallel sides right here. That's one pair of parallel sides. And then I would say we have some congruent base angles. as well. So really for our purposes, all I'm looking for is trapezoid. But if you wanted to get fancy, we would say isosceles. I never remember how to um, spell isosceles. I bet if we go back here to slides, isos, put the C after the S. Forgot. Isosceles trapezoid. There we go. All right. And then we just have um, one more thing to go to. This doesn't give us a whole lot of direction. It just says draw a rectangle that has one set of sides that are 1 inch long. Okay. So this, everybody's could be a little bit different, right? As long as we have a side that's 1 inch on that side, and then this could be however we want. This could be 5 inches, right? As long as we have 4 right angles, just like that. So really this side can be any length that you want. 1 inch on either side, the longer side, or you could even make it a shorter side if you want. The one thing I will ask and leave you with this question is if I draw this, right, I have my 2 sides here, and I can choose whatever length I want. If I choose this to be my length, is it still a rectangle? We will talk about that when I return.